What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to RBL Weekly. It is week 12 of the 2025 Roast Battle League season, sponsored exclusively by Neft Vodka. I am the commissioner of the Roast Battle League, Pat Barker, joined by nobody right now. Brian Moses is en route. He's on his way, so he will be here in a little bit. I'm exhausted, so I'm not waiting around for him. We're gonna get this thing started, and he'll be in momentarily. But in the meantime, let's jump right into this week's slate of battles and start watching. We have a good lineup this week, including a number one battle that, if you haven't seen it yet, it's being called one of the best battles of the season. If you have seen it, definitely worth a rewatch because there's so many great jokes in it. But we have a great lineup across the board, and that starts with number 7 this week. Number 7 battle comes to us from a city that we have not heard a lot of this year. They came into the season maybe with hopes of competing for a wild card. At this point, I would say their focus is more on avoiding relegation to the WRBL. I'm talking about Denver. Denver comes into this week with only 3 points. They pick up one more point this week. Every little point helps in that race to avoid relegation, and they get one this week. This is a battle between a guy we haven't seen before and one who is a little bit of a favorite on the show. This is Tanner Kaufman versus Spaghetti Jake. Here it is. Battle!
Keep it going for Spaghetti, everybody. Spaghetti hasn't been in a relationship in 10 years. Is that why you beatbox in your set? Because you're not beating any box in real life? I loved you in Dumb and Dumber, by the way. He played the van.
Fuck you. Tanner has founding father face. and founding fudge body. You look like you have Benjamin Butthead disease.
Jacob said he's been awkward with girls ever since he was young and made out with an older neighbor in a crawl space. How'd she lure you down there? Meatballs? Also, a crawl space. Dude, you're so big. Are you sure it wasn't just a normal fucking basement?
Shouldn't have given him so much information, huh? All right, Elton John Deere. Tanner was abused by...
Shh. He's telling jokes.
Tanner was abused by his dad when he was a kid. And I can't blame him. I mean, picture coming home and seeing that Tanner got into the trash can again.
You said you loved to wrestle in high school. That's pretty cool, Andre the Giant. You look like Triple H if the H stood for heart disease. I bet whenever you were diagnosed, they had to widen the spectrum.
All right, Benjamin Frank hot dog eating contest.
Let him finish.
Doesn't Tanner look like me if I had to serve in Vietnam for 9 years?
Does Spaghetti look like me if he got out of that draft due to transitioning?
Sure.
You're in a comedy group who all live together called All Fours. Do you call yourself that because that's how much of you it takes to pay the rent? Or is All Fours the position Dave has to be in for you to come?
You can catch us on All Fours May 22nd.
I'm actually on that show. Please show up.
It's a very close, tight-knit scene. Tanner, you look like Boss Baby if you worked at a pawn shop.
That joke is out of my set. Spaghetti, you're really brave for transitioning. I just don't know why you decided to transition into a lunch lady. You look like Kurt Cobain, and instead of a bullet, he ate a pie.
Your alcoholic mom's pie. Frosty the Blowman over here.
Got me.
Okay. That's not it, isn't it? If you see Tanner in the wild, do not approach. Chances are his mom is just around the corner.
To be honest, I was leaning a little more spaghetti, but I didn't want
We
to
got no
feel,
overtime. We got no
Do
overtime.
gentlemen have one more
Commissioner,
joke on the
I
table?
don't want to do that to you. I hate when they do that.
All right. Kiss, kiss, kiss.
All right, then. Calm it down. Tell the fucking joke.
You guys are chaos. All right. We gotta get to the joke part, you guys. We gotta get to the joke part.
DJ's like, it's my time.
We had Tanner going first in regulation. Spaghetti's going first in overtime. Put some energy back in the room.
All right. I'm gonna make this quick. I know Tanner's got to bathe in some black oil while his soldiers get the spice. But there's a word for people like Tanner, and that word is gross. Tanner, you look like your own tapeworm.
Best fed tapeworm in the game, dude. That's crazy. You're the reason they sell snacks at dispensaries. Spaghetti told me that he likes Chef Boyardee. Boyardee's nuts in his mouth.
All right, so that was a number 7 battle, Spaghetti Jake versus Tanner Kaufman. First time I've seen Tanner. Plus size Triple H, as he said, against plus size Kane. That was crazy that looking like that. He went in on the you look like a fat ex-wrestler angle. Thought it was really good. I thought there were some really, funny, genuinely funny moments in there. Great camaraderie, great chemistry. Slowed down a little bit towards the end. I think if they had maintained the pace they had about halfway through, you would have been looking at potentially a top, 4 or 5 battle. But definitely one of the better outings we've seen out of Denver this year. They're in the middle of their tournament. And a lot of times tournaments bring out the best in people. And, you see what it did for Chicago early in the season, 2 years in a row. Hopefully it'll do the same for Denver as they try to avoid being at the bottom of the barrel with about 1/3 of the season gone. Who will be the city that gets eliminated from the league next year? For Denver's sake, hopefully not them. Let's keep it moving right now and go to another city that we haven't seen a ton of, although they've made some waves recently, Cleveland. I believe this is maybe 4 appearances in the last 6 or 7 weeks for Cleveland. We're seeing them a lot more consistently on here, and it's 2 pretty new faces. This is Chris Scriva, who we saw once last season, going up against making his RBL Weekly debut, Jeremy Shear. Here it is.
You know what time it is. Battle, 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 battle. Roast him.
Come get me. Yes, sir. Chris, I appreciate the fit. Thanks to Kanye West, cousin fucking is in.
Yeah. I wanted to dress like Big Boy for you.
Oh, no.
Jeremy's vibe is spooky and autistic. That's why he dresses like he runs funeral homes for eye contact.
Hell yeah, I'm non-binary Paul Bearer. Chris Scriba is what you get when you tell an AI generator, show me human Jabba the Hutt going through a midlife crisis.
Thank you, every other alien in the movie.
Nice.
Jeremy said he recently just came out as asexual, or as scientists like to call it, somehow too gay for dick.
That's great.
Chris was raised Catholic, but not molested. Gee, I wonder why. Probably because the priest was sexually confused by your fat tits.
Priest Jeremy, everybody.
Bless you, my son.
I think we were on the same wavelength here because I wrote, Jeremy's hands feel so soft. When you shake them, it feels like you're molesting a child.
I gotta keep my hands soft. Chris started going gray at 15 years old. 15? What the hell happened? Did your dad threaten to put you on a diet and just scared the color out of your hair?
He threatened to stop molesting me. Father Jeremy won't fuck me, somebody needs to.
Jeez, how much attention do you improvisers need?
Yes, and a lot. Yeah. Inside baseball for clearly 4 people in the audience.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't realize this, but I just found out Jeremy actually lost a few teeth to meth, which is crazy because knowing him for 2 years, I always assumed it was from fucking Mountain Dew.
Meth was long enough to go that the effects have been reversed. There's hope for you yet, Cuyahoga Falls. Chris's 2 best friends since the 2nd grade both killed themselves to escape the voracious hunger of Chris Scriba. This fat buck eats people. That's why you never see him with another same open micer more than once.
I mix their ashes up like Ovaltine. So I also found out that Jeremy has 6 comedy-related tattoos. Pretty cool. Clap for that. That's cool, huh? Unfortunately, they're all just different versions of Chris Rock's The Difference Between a Black Guy and an N-Word. He's a racist! Okay, fine.
I'll show you one of them if you're good. Okay, you've been good.
Yeah!
Live, laugh, love.
Pretty good rebuttal.
Make some noise
All
for
right.
Jeremy and Chris.
Brian Moses, you got here just in time.
Yeah, and I saw a blue-haired lesbian just like you see here in West Hollywood.
They got him in Cleveland now, too.
Yeah, no, they're exporting like MS-13.
Yeah, exactly. That was Cleveland, number 6 battle this week. Chris Scriba versus Jeremy Shear. Did you catch any of that, or just the flash at the end?
I caught the end. I caught Jeremy, right? He's the guy with the overalls.
No, that's Chris.
Okay, yeah. So Chris, okay, whatever. It's just it's almost like you remember the dolls or action figures you would have. And they would have just like different kind of outfits. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like those guys. It's almost like if Danny DeVito's Penguin had like different outfits. Like, oh, here's Danny, at a play. Here's Danny as the Penguin, in a roast battle in overalls. That was pretty good though.
Just Cleveland Barbie. It's just a bunch of fat dudes.
They love it out there. They're dark. They have this. I know it's Metropolis in the Superman universe. It's supposed to be New York, right? But they have this bizarro New York thing where they're not as fit as New York, aesthetically and physically, but they have kind of like that same, we're going for the dark thing. We're going for like your jugular. We're going for like your family. We're going for your friends. We're going for just things to make you hate me. But we're still gonna be friends after this because we're in a very small comedy community, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Type shit.
Also they've been doing roast battle out there for a long time. So there's a lot
Ad
of
hominem hacks.
Yeah, there's a lot of chemistry, a lot of friendship out there. One thing that I found funny that you missed in this battle, about halfway through, Jeremy did a pedophile joke. And then Chris goes, we must have been on the same wavelength here because and then he did his pedophile joke. And he acted like it was so astonishing that 2 white guys in a roast battle would both have a pedophile joke. It's like 80% of the material.
Nice.
But he was like, that's weird. We were on the same, great minds, think alike. You missed Denver at number 7, by the way.
Oh, I missed Denver. Welcome back, Denver. Is that their first points of the season?
Your boy Spaghetti Jake. No, they have 4 now. They're up to 4 points.
Good job, Spaghetti. It's spaghetti versus who?
Tanner Kaufman. Do you know Tanner?
Ooh, no, but great name. I bet he's great.
Yeah, he was good. It was two fun battles to start, honestly. And two battles that I think could have been a little bit higher. I think both of them were a little bit higher on my ballot. Let's get into the next one, and we'll get into something Moses can see and discuss. This comes to us from the Bay Area, number 2 in the American West Division. This is a guy we've seen a few times already this season versus someone, I believe, making his RBL Weekly debut. This is Buddy. You know Buddy. You love Buddy. Against Noah Guerrero. We don't know him. Let's find him.
Yeah, I'm honestly pretty scared of Buddy because before the battle, he said I look tasty. Yeah, he told me he's bisexual, so I don't know if he wants to fuck me or eat me.
Little column A, little column B, you know what I mean? It is really progressive of Josh and Roast Battle to have us out here, you know, with my queer ass and this trans man. You look so fucking malnourished that the only protein you get is when you let your grinder date finish in your mouth.
Yeah, give it up for Motor Gets No Head.
He has a lot of head, to be fair.
Buddy looks like he gets nervous every time someone plays Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar.
Rap scares me. Noah, I have done coke lines thicker than you. Noah works at Macy's, you guys. You might have actually seen his work. He's one of the strings that holds the float every Thanksgiving.
Buddy, you look like you know exactly when school gets out.
Worst part is I think some of my students are here tonight, and that... Fuck you guys. Give it up for Harry Styles of One Direction, everyone. You're so tiny, it looks like they could have made you into a paper airplane to throw you over the border.
That would be useful. Okay. Yeah, no. Buddy told me his parents are crackheads, but I swear I would have put money on them being foreheads.
Yeah, I got a big forehead, guys. It's for my big brain, you know? No, give it up for Timothy Chalamet with AIDS, everyone. Noah, it's really hard battling you because it looks like Josh sent my former self from 20 years ago to let me know what I would look like if I did start to transition. No, thank you.
Yeah. Buddy looks like the only way he can come is if there's upside down crosses and candles around him.
I didn't know we were kink shaming. We should finish this up. Noah's actually really known all around the Bay because technically he legally has to introduce himself to all of his neighbors.
Number 5 battle this week from Bay Area. Noah Guerrero versus Buddy. First time seeing Noah Guerrero. I was impressed, man. I thought he killed it.
I mean, yeah, I got here, was this number 5, and I saw one joke from number 6. That's the best battle I've seen all episode. That was outstanding. Noah Guerrero, great debut. He is that, man, he had two big jokes that I think might even be, I mean, obviously, you know, hopefully they hold it for the rest of the episode, but man, jokes of the year, those were fun, man. That guy had like big pops. The foreheads joke, I'm never going to forget now. Buddy told me his parents are crackheads. By looking at him, I thought there were foreheads. Come on,
That's
man.
great. That's great. Yeah. And Buddy rolled with the punches really, really well. Like a lot of his off the top kind of self-deprecating.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were king shaming.
Oh,
and like
so good.
I think some of my students are here.
Yeah, after Noah's big, Buddy looks like he knows what time school gets out.
Yeah.
Exactly
Yeah.
what time. I mean, because he does look like that.
He does.
Nam Segura.
I thought it was also great of Buddy to come out and like to go into a battle when you're literally bisexual and battle a straight guy and just call him gay is like, you know, what have we created here? What is this sport?
I like that Buddy was kind of coming, gross, pause. Buddy was going with the theme a little bit of kind of doing clean racial framed jokes, right? Oh, like, you know, Noah's so skinny, they just made him a paper airplane and threw him over the wall, right? That's fun. Noah's got to get back to holding, you know, being the strings that hold up the Macy's Day floats. I mean, like, those are fun, you know, like jokes my grandma would make, you know, like those are, and he kind of looks like that. I like Noah's opener of, you know, Buddy's bisexual. I don't know if he wants to eat me or fuck me. I mean, I feel like I've heard that, but not like that. So I thought that was fun. There's a lot of flips on classic jokes I've heard that Noah kind of made new and fresh for me. That, you know, I thought that was kind of cool. So, you know, that was a great debut. I can't keep like gushing over Noah again. Pause.
I agree, and you know, Buddy fits right into the Bay Area mold of. You know, like a Dakota Fry or somebody like that who battles all the time. Their guys that's already, I think, his 6th battle of the season, his 24th or something like that across the 3 seasons. Just gets up there all the time, always puts in a good performance, about 50-50 wins and losses, doesn't matter. Good target, good sport. That's kind of what, you know, the whole object of the game is. He's great at it.
Noah's well known around the Bay because he has to let his neighbors know. I mean, like that's a joke, right? Like that's textbook, just how you do it, right there.
Yeah,
you know, like that's a perfect pedophile joke. It's the perfect premise. It's the perfect setup, and then boom, it's so clean. It's just such a maybe like clean, obviously the material, but I mean just a clean joke.
Yeah, no, I agree. Great
World
job.
economy, yeah.
Great job to the Bay Area, picking up 3 more points, falling further behind LA. It's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for you guys to catch LA. I know you're gonna talk a lot of shit, but odds are it's probably not going to happen. Let's just be honest about it. But Bay Area, right in the thick of things in the playoffs, whether it is in the West to be serious or in the wild card, they have a lot of options to make the playoffs this year, and they are right there. So let's see how the rest of this episode goes. Let's see if Chicago or LA can pick up any ground and move further ahead of the Bay in those two races.
Forehead shadowing.
Nice. Let's get to the number 4 battle this week, and this comes to us from Scotland. It's been a little bit of a slow season for Scotland in terms of battles in Scotland. They came into this week 1.5 up in the wild card race, but well behind Barcelona in the International West. They're going to pick up 4 points here for a battle between someone who was one of last year's top rookies, Kyle Samuel, against someone who I believe this is their first appearance on the podcast. And I was very impressed by this person. I think you will be too. Eva Peroni. This is Kyle versus Eva. Here it is.
The beer?
Let's roll!
The beer.
Yeah, that's the money.
All right, everyone, this is Kyle Samuel, the human embodiment of the cry wank. Kyle grew up in Cumnock, which was at the time the STD capital of Scotland. His mum doesn't live there anymore, though. Kyle didn't actually learn his mum's name until he was 10 years old. I think 10 is a bit too early to be on Pornhub, but okay.
Eva looks like someone gave estrogen pills to the wee boy from 2.5 Men. As you can tell from the haircut, Eva's bisexual. Eva has a girlfriend, but she's also from a traveller background. So I couldn't decide if I wanted to make a joke about her going down on a woman or a movie reference to her being a gypsy. But either way, it involves snatch. Eva looks like a wee boy. I think it's intentional, yeah, because she heard that little boys go to something called beavers.
Thank you, Sad Eyes Hussein. I once asked Kyle if he knew a number for cocaine in Glasgow. He didn't. Gay!
I feel like that's picking up steam.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
But man, if it's not coke, what the fuck happened to your nose? To be fair though, I should have known from Kyle's hair that he does not know how to find a good line. Even though he doesn't do drugs, Kyle did tell me that he has an addictive personality. Maybe the addictive part is true.
Eva somehow looks like she owns an artisanal bakery / mechanics.
To be fair, if he was a croissant, he would still need his oil changed.
The only people to ever describe Eva as an 8 or a 9 are those people who are referring to how many pints they would need.
Short memories in this room.
Why her surname's Peroni. I mean, yeah, she is called Eva Peroni. I personally think she should be called Eva Blue WKD because she's mostly consumed by 12-year-olds.
On the topic of paedophiles, Kyle is a high school computing teacher. He was recently told to stop giving the kids so much laptop time because the weight of his body was crushing their wee legs. Kyle has a horror movie podcast. He actually reminds me a little bit of Hannibal Lecter, if instead of people he only ate turkey dinosaurs. The podcast is called Blood, Sweat and Fears, which is the answer to the question, what do Kyle's pupils say that he smells like? As well as horror films, Kyle loves WWE, wanking while eating.
Sufficient. I've never been more certain in my life that someone owns a dream catcher. If Eva was a teacher, she'd be misgendered.
That's great.
Eva is sexually inept. She's so bad with the ladies that every time she walks into a female bathroom, the only thing she arouses is suspicion. Eva played the Virgin Mary in her school's nativity for 3 years in a row. Like, they would have put on a production of Aladdin, but they were scared she'd munch the carpet.
Kyle looks like sadness from Inside Out. If you haven't seen Inside Out, it's a movie about a 13-year-old girl whose emotions are wee characters in her brain, and she runs away from home because of this one character, Sadness. And just like Sadness, Kyle has caused a lot of emotional hardship from being inside a 13-year-old girl. Kyle is actually depressed. The only smiles that this guy ever has is made out of potatoes on his plate and never touching the beans. Just like Kyle. Kyle looks like a lead singer of a metal band called System of a Down Syndrome.
Add it to the list.
Oh. Eva looks like the shift manager in a Starbucks in the Shire. Eva is studying English at uni. Right, fun fact, the entire time Eva has been at uni, she hasn't actually read a single social cue. Eva used to live in Costa Rica. Yeah, she's not Costa Rican, she's just Rican. You okay there? Yeah. When Eva lived in Costa Rica, she had sex with a local guy, and that completely ruined his siesta.
Kyle has a tattoo in Comic Sans, which is fitting because he is a comic sans talent. Kyle's girlfriend stopped being a Jehovah's Witness so that she could be with him. She was just so excited that she didn't have to just knock on the doors anymore. She could play with the little knob. This is my last one. Kyle has submitted 3 different photos to a celebrity AI lookalike website, and every single time it told him that he looks like Bruce Lee.
It's true. Yeah, that's true.
To be fair though, Kyle, if you want a different result, maybe you should submit 1 photo without pulling your eyes back.
No. I can't really explain this, but Eva looks like a non-binary chimney sweep. Eva had a really bad reaction to general anaesthetic and had no control over her muscles. And clearly that happened when she did her makeup tonight. I was expecting makeup. Eva's mum ran for MSP for Labour, and she wanted to give birth to a future Labour Prime Minister, but instead she gave birth to Queer Starmer. The first 5 letters of Eva Peroni spell out e-vape. Eva is a lot like an e-vape because she is bisexual and therefore not quite a
Yikes.
Thank you.
All right. All right. That was the battle. A Scottish marathon. Eva Peroni versus Kyle Samuel. I got some thoughts on this one, but why don't you take it away? Start us off. What do you think?
Love that MC in Scotland.
Oh, he's the best.
He's so fun.
He's the best.
Every time.
Yeah.
He breaks that fourth wall for me. I like Kyle Samuel. Maybe this one gets ahead of the last one, Noah Guerrera, and whoever that person was he was battling.
Buddy.
Because it's a name brand, and we all like Kyle. Eva was very impressive in her debut. Obviously, you know, the Scottish thing, they go forever. You know, I think I like when Jack does it or the other guys do it because they make it like a theme every time. It's almost like storytelling, right? So they're going to have a callback every time, or they're going to have something that makes it a story or a theme every time. This was just, we're writing jokes, we're going for word economy, but we're doing it in threes. Kyle wasn't as strong this week as I thought he was last week. It was a little underwhelming. The whole time I just kept looking at Kyle, I was just like, he does look like Logan Farr with legs. And that's just what I see him as now.
Interesting. Okay. Well, thanks for ruining that for me.
Sorry. That's
what I'll see too. I thought there were 3 examples. And before I get to that, let me start with the praise. I thought Eva Peroni was great. I thought she had a bunch of really, really good shit. I like that she incorporated a couple of like rebuttals. You don't see that often in Scotland. The inside out joke, she like played with different like structures of jokes and like tried to do like a little bit longer thing and like quicker things and everything. I really enjoyed her performance. I enjoyed Kyle too. Kyle got the win. Kyle was great. Kyle is, I think, cemented himself as clearly the number 3 option in the Scotland offense behind Jack and Ryan. You didn't catch in the battle that Kyle reused 2 jokes that he used last week.
Oh, no.
And several people in the ranking committee did catch that. And they said, what do we do? Is there a rule? I'm like, there's no rule, but like it can affect your individual ranking on that. And I think that did end up costing them some points. And here's the thing. It's like, it's not a big deal. They're his jokes. He wrote them, but it's like, you have 30 others. You know what I mean? Even the one in the last round where he was like, he did the thing about her makeup. And then she's like, I'm not wearing makeup. And he's like, I expected makeup. I remember back in the day, you would write a joke that was like visual, and then you show up and you see the person and you're like, I don't think that applies to this, so I'm going to move it or I'm going to take it out entirely because I don't think it's going to connect. And
that was you and Alex Hooper?
Well, yeah, I don't want to get into that. But
yeah, that was Frank Castillo. Yeah, cutting his beard.
but even just something if like you have a joke about their hair and they show up wearing a hat, you fucking panic. You're like, what am I going to do? Out there, they're like, I'm just going to read my 400 jokes. It's like, you could drop that. You wouldn't have lost anything. You know what I mean? You wrote a joke about her wearing makeup. She's not wearing makeup. Just cut it. You have 6 other jokes that turn, right? You have 2 jokes that you just did in Manchester. And like, you know this stuff is going to go onto like a podcast and like nerds. And I say that in the best possible way. I'm the king of the nerds, right? The ranking committee has several, the Patreon and everything like that. These people are battle, like, sickos. They love this shit. They catch it. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I hate that was like the takeaway for a few people in what was a really good battle, but it was the takeaway for me too. I watched it and I was like, oh man, I heard that one. He did that one last week. And it happened once last season too, where I think I'm the only one he did one. And I was like, man, that sounds familiar. So I went back looking and he did it like 20 weeks prior, which is way better than like, oh, he did it and someone else did it. And like, they're his jokes. So I don't want to overreact. It's like, it doesn't matter. But by the same token, I think it did end up costing them a spot or 2 this week.
I think when they make the video game roast battle, it's got to be named after you because you are like the Madden or Gruden of this. You really are like, that's XY Spider Banana. He did that last week, and then boom, if you don't have a setup, you can't have a punchline. And if you do the same punchline, that's telegraphing your passes.
Yeah.
So that was brilliant. I thought there.
If it's half as good as the Kill Tony video game,
oh man,
yeah, did you see that online? Oh, yeah. Dude, that sketch was incredible. So good. So good. But no, I mean, I thought overall there was like a lot of, I thought this was clearly, I think it's just better than the bad. I thought there were more, for me personally, it was more of what I like, but I actually had it ranked behind because I deducted, a few points for that.
Right. For hearing a few of the same jokes. Right.
Yeah.
Your boy, our boy, Dan Nolan, does that every once in a while, but I think he was doing it before before they were filmed age. It's almost like his Wilt Chamberlain. Like, oh, did Dan really get 100 points? Like, yeah, we weren't really filming those back in the day. Yeah. So a lot of his jokes he will recycle, back to back sometimes. So it's not illegal. I think now it will become like a known, not a known unknown of like, hey, maybe don't do jokes that we're probably going to hear and you're going to hear back to back and, in an internet show. Like, that's crazy right now.
Yeah, I just think it's one of those things where like, I guarantee there are people watching right now who are like, it literally does not matter. I don't care. And that's a valid opinion as well. I think wherever people fall on it, it's fine. They're his jokes. He wrote them, But, it's just something to think about as it expands and you get a wider audience. It's not the crowd that's like in the room exclusively who weren't there in Manchester. I mean, obviously, for in the room, nobody had heard those jokes. So, but you do this and then...
Right, that's that stand-up of it all, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I thought it was a good battle. Big week for Scotland, picking up 4 points as they try to gain ground on Barcelona. Kyle is clearly, to me, cemented himself as the number 3,
They got a big 3 now.
Out there. They got a big 3. Yeah, and he's had a really, really nice season so far. 2 weeks in a row on the countdown. Number 2 last week, number 4 this week. He is putting some points on the board. So shout out to Kyle. Shout out to Eva. Great debut battle. Let's keep it moving right now and go to the number 3 battle of the week. And this comes to us from a city that came into this week tied for first in the American East Division. It was New York and Chicago. They've been neck and neck the entire season. New York picks up 5 points here with last season's U.S. champion. He made it all the way to the finals in London before losing to Jay Yamaki. I'm talking about Andrew Manning going up against another mainstay in the New York scene, Sarah Barnett. It's number 3 this week. Here it is.
Yeah, I'm going for... I'm not surprised that Andrew didn't want to get things going tonight, because normally to do that, he needs 2 blue chews and a prayer. You guys might recognize Andrew from absolutely nothing. NPC looking bitch. Andrew is so unaccomplished, so useless. Donald Trump just made him a cabinet member.
It's good to be here with Cruella DeVille's personal assistant. Sarah has dated a lot. Slut. And she has vaginal herpes. She doesn't have oral herpes. Her mouth is too big for that. There simply aren't enough herpes. Therefore, she can add herpes to the long list of things that have stuck around just for her pussy.
Oh, beautifully crafted 3-piece.
Andrew, if I gave you herpes, you would get them framed. Seriously. Oh, man. So Andrew is actually 25% Palestinian and 100% gonna bring it up. So Andrew and I went to high school together. Guys, give it up for the kid who called the teacher mommy in class.
I just want to clarify, we did not go to high school together. So how did you know? When Sarah isn't using a horseshoe as a mouth guard. She works at a big corporation where she's just a small part of something much larger, kind of like one of the teeth in her oversized jawbone.
Andrew, I'd make fun of your jaw, but it's covered in pubes, so I really can't. Doesn't he look like he orgasms in total silence?
Sarah is the first person to stop giving head early because her jaw is hurting the guy. She'll want to keep going because she loves sucking dick, but the guy will be like, I can't feel my legs. Please, your teeth are scraping my tailbone.
Andrew, stop being so mean to me. I'm going to come, seriously. You sawdust-flavored Zyn pouch. Jesus Christ. Doesn't he look like he buys condoms with Snapple facts on the front?
Sarah, I feel like, oh boy. I feel like when you were born, the doctor held you with his thumb in your mouth like a largemouth bass. He's like, and he measured you against a tattoo on his forearm. Your first picture, your dad's holding you like.
All right. right, you guys, we gotta end this. Andrew has to go wave at somebody who definitely forgot his name. So I would say the only woman who would ever say that Andrew is hung would be the nurse describing how he died.
Okay. It's ironic that Sarah has a huge mouth.
He wants to know what that mouth do so bad.
I just want to address, you have so few issues that everybody's just like, guys, her mouth. I mean, come on. So it's like, that's what I got to work with. You're a great person and you look good. So it's like, what am I gonna, your fucking mouth is huge. I don't know. As I was saying, it's ironic that Sarah has a huge mouth and also an eating disorder. It's almost as ironic as being attractive and having herpes. Because in both cases, you're like, what a waste of a good hole. Guys look at eating Sarah's pussy the same way she looks at eating any meal. They're like, I would, but then I'm going to get sick.
That's 5, everybody. Let him hear it.
Damn. New York, number 3 on the countdown. Andrew Manning with exclusively giant mouth herpy jokes. Runs his career RBL record to 14-1. Picks up 5 points for New York. Sarah Barnett had a hell of a performance too. That was a great battle.
That was a classic, fun. They know each other. Just, that was brutal. It's always brutal with those guys, and you saw why, because that was textbook New York. I'm going to go for things that normal people wouldn't talk about out loud, and they just went for all those taboos. It just felt like it was a jab in the beginning from Sarah. It was a stab in the middle here. But Andrew Manning did. He was just got to his spots, kept popping those shots that he knows he's going to hit, which is kept going to the mouth jokes. All right, now go to this herb. It was just fun, man. And even like bigged her up at the end was just like, what am I going to talk about? You know, you look great. And then he goes right for the, you waste of a mouth. That was a hell of a performance, man. I love New York. That's why you love New York, because they're going to give you outstanding jokes, brutal jokes, and things you probably shouldn't be saying out loud. I'm glad they're being said at 11 or 12 o'clock in New York time.
Yeah, dude. And Andrew is just like, the consistency is crazy. He's beaten everybody in New York, some of them multiple times. He beat Malia at the Cellar. He's beaten Najota a few times. He just wins a lot, and his battles are getting more and more entertaining as he kind of like figures out. He was so likable in that one. I mean, that was always a thing back in the day at Roast Battle. It was like, oh, it's impossible to beat a woman. Women are like, their record is insane because like they're automatically more likable and you're viewed as like a misogynist. He just comes in there and like, even the things that make him likable that he has no control over, his voice cracks in every battle, like randomly. You're like, I can't get mad at this guy. How can he be a misogynist if he's like, going through puberty? Come on.
Sarah dates a lot.
Oh my God, yeah.
Playing with the instrument God. You love a baller, and that's you just watch somebody just ball. That was just him just watching him hoop. I mean, obviously she can too, and that was a great performance. I mean, that's really not taking anything away from her. That was just a better team won, and that was Andrew Manning.
But Sarah is the perfect like embodiment of like why New York is so good at this, and LA, and it's just the depth. You know what I mean? Like, if you took the best person from every city and put them in like a tournament, a lot of different cities could win on any given night. You saw Tokyo win a championship last year. If you take the best 3, okay, now it's like, you're weeding people out a little bit. If you take the best 5, when you get down to like, oh, we'll put our 10 against your 10, like Sarah is like in that probably 8 to 10 range in New York, where she would be 2 or 3 in a lot of other cities,
Yeah, like that's the bar. That's crazy that, it's like, oh yeah, around like Sarah, yeah, it kind of like, we look more like Atlanta and Cleveland's number 1, number 2, which is, that's you're talking about depth. That is the Denver Nuggets, and 2 years ago they won the championship. That's this year's Oklahoma City Thunder team. Yeah. Let's just keep tossing the sports references out there so we hit that algorithm.
Los Angeles Dodgers Okay. Great job, New York, picking up 5 points. Will they finish the weekend first in the East, or is Chicago still to be seen on this episode? Still 2 battles left. Let's jump right into them. The number 6 points, for the number 2 battle. I'm delirious. I did not get a lot of sleep last night. It's the number 2 battle this week. Second week in a row, a number 2 battle for Manchester. Manchester opening up a pretty big lead in the International East. They did it last season before Tokyo came storming back with Roast Fest at the end of the season. Manchester's goal this year to get as big of a lead as humanly possible. They want to leave Tokyo in the dust, and they are in the process of doing that early on in the season. 6 more points this week for 2 of my favorites from Manchester. This is Jordan Ducharme going up against Brendan Fox. Here it is.
Oh, hey now, everybody.
Oh, hello.
Hell yeah.
Dude, if Jordan's here, who's on top of a skyscraper swatting at aeroplanes? Jordan and I actually have a lot in common. We're both from colonies. I'm from Australia, and he's from a colony of bacteria somewhere, probably in a toilet. Fucking around, eh? We're having a good time. Aren't we? Jordan's actually from Vancouver, BC. Sorry, 10,000 BC. That was a mistake. My bad.
Really good.
Oh, keep it going from Brendan, everyone. Come on. Nice. Yeah, this is Brendan from Australia. A little less g'day, mate. A little more you're gay, mate. A lot of Australians have fucked up accents, but Brendan sounds like he's got Down's Under syndrome. Aussies do have weird words for things, though. Like, they call McDonald's Maccas, they call slot machines Pokies, and they call retarded people Brendans.
If you guys couldn't tell by the smell, Jordan's a massive wrestling fan. Jordan actually invented a move called the Canadian sleeper hold. Now, it sounds easy, but if she's looking at her drink, it's hard to do. I've tried. No, seriously, I've been mates with Jordan for over a year, and I still could not describe what this cunt looks like to the police. I'd just be like, just go find a Sasquatch in a Hawaiian shirt or some shit, man. That's the guy. He did it.
Oh, I've been told Sideshow Bob on 5 hits of acid. It's fine. Nope, nothing. All right. So Brendan's dad introduced him to a lot of alt-rock music like Sonic Youth and the Pixies. Their favorite song used to be Where Is My Mind, but it hits a bit different now that Brendan's dad has Alzheimer's.
Okay.
Now that Brendan's in England, his favorite dish is scrambled eggs, because of course it reminds him of his dad's brain back home.
Being mates with Jordan's pretty cool, man. Like, we swap stories. Like, I tell him what it was like growing up in Australia, and he tells me what the late Jurassic period was like. Jordan, let's actually give it up for Jordan. For the first time, he paid his rent through stand-up comedy alone last month. Let's hear it for him. But that's pretty easy to do when you live in a fucking cave. What did you pay? 0? People have a go at Jordan for being an angry alcoholic, but like, how would you guys do if you saw your entire family killed by an asteroid? It's rough shit, man.
Oh, keep it going for Crocodile Redundee, everybody. Brendan looks like he only got into Harry Potter after he found out about J.K. Rowling's views on trans people. He actually has been doing jiu-jitsu for years, and he actually pushed for trans athletes' involvement because it's the only way he could think of to choke out a woman.
You do it to any of them. Hang on, wrong notes. Here we are. Jordan's actually part Native American. And I did some digging and I found out his Native American name. It's a big chief not allowed within 500 yards of a school. Jordan's ancestors actually colonized his other ancestors, which you can tell he's struggling with because his pubes are trying to colonize his head. Rough stuff.
Sorry, Braden. Sorry. Just kidding. That was my impression of his dad.
Played the long game.
Brendan actually told me he once fucked his Uber driver. She said he left a really small tip. Yeah, Brendan always makes women squirt pepper spray into his eyes. On to you, my friend.
My dad would never wear a shirt that shit. Jordan's girlfriend is the lover Rian, as we saw earlier. Jordan met her the old-fashioned way, in the sense that he hit her over the head with a club and took her back to his place. No, I can't keep doing jokes like this, man. This guy's been going through a lot lately. Have you seen these memes online? People keep trying to decide if 100 men could kill... You know, they're trying to take a good man down. I will say, the only way you're taking this gorilla down is if you check his hard drive. It's not good. Back to you.
Brendan's face is great. Have you ever wondered what a racist horse looks like? He's got weird wrinkles by his eyes, I think from pulling them back so often. I would do it, but I can't. We're being recorded. Brendan told me he grew up in a small racist town that's actually called the Shire. True story. I didn't realize I was roasting Gandalf the white supremacist up here. All right, that's us, everyone.
Thank you very much.
All right. Number 2 battle this week, Jordan Ducharme versus Brendan Fox. What'd you think?
Fun, man. Brendan Fox, I've been trying to figure out who you look like in the RBL universe, and it's Robbie Goodwin. He's Australian Robbie Goodwin. He's got that whole, hey, you know, bouncing around, does this thing when you're done, you know. Remember Robbie from, the mayor of Burbank?
I remember Robbie.
Yeah.
I'm not on board.
You're not seeing this?
Not even a little bit.
I'm going with it. Robbie, I know you're not watching this, but yeah, you will now. And that's you. That's your doppelganger. But he's fun. That was a lot of fun. Jordan's always fun. Brendan's now becoming one of my favorites out there. He's moving up the leaderboard now as far as like guys they can rely on to get them on the countdown. So I'd love a theme. Obviously, I was saying it earlier in this episode, but yeah, that caveman, that Jurassic Age, that dinosaur theme just kept going back to the well of calling him, you know, a Flintstone or, you know, a caveman. I love it. So yeah, I just love it. That was fun. And yeah. Jordan always he's a good dance partner. You're never gonna look stupid out there with Jordan Ducharme when you're dancing or battling him.
Absolutely. And you know, the caveman thing like ran its course for me, but then calling it back with and it's not a perfect comparison, but making the 100 men versus the gorilla, like
to tie a bow on it.
Really, really, really good. I think Brendan is fantastic. I think to me, like internationally, like if you're doing tiers, like there's the top tier that we've been talking about for 3 seasons now. Your Shalakas and Cullens and James Regals and all that. And then there's like maybe a tier below it, which like Jordan is on. And last year from Manchester was like him and Meccan. Mm-hmm. And then like the tier right below that, Manchester's producing a lot of people this year. Alex, remember we were trying to figure out how to pronounce his last name? We settled on Teague. I was told it's Ty. Tighe out there is just Ty. So Alex Ty.
We're so stupid as a country. We don't even
No.
We don't
That's
know
on
that
them.
language.
That's on him. That's stupid. There should not be a G and an H in there if it's spelled Ty. That's dumb.
It's their language. It's that King's English.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. I just realized the word thigh has the same. All right, whatever. Point is, He's really good. Charlie Ashton, Monty Wilson, Michael Mannion, and Brendan Fox are like that. Their depth is really like picking up this season. I do find it very funny that Manchester's got 6 points for a Canadian versus an Australian when Sydney, Vancouver, and Toronto combined the entire season have 8 points. All of their best battlers are out there getting points for other cities.
You got to keep your hometown talent, guys. You know, look at college football. That's what they do, right? You want to keep your hometown talent there. You don't want all these Californians playing for Alabama. You don't want all these Floridians playing for Michigan. What is that?
Yeah, Manchester, great recruiting. Great recruiting class. Nick Saban getting out there, getting in the homes, bringing the best battlers out. 6 more points for Manchester. They have opened up a pretty sizable lead on Tokyo here, 12 weeks into the season. Basically the 1/3 mark of the season. Manchester is way out in front. And let's close now with the number 1 battle and 26 weeks in a row for LA. Here's all the historical notes on this. Scotland, Ryan Ness and Ryan Cullen. This was potentially a world championship matchup season 1. Ryan Ness made the championship. Ryan Cullen did not. They had the jokes ready to go. They wrote a whole bunch of new ones. We did it in the main room. Big week for Scotland. They pick up 4 points with the number 4 battle. They get 3.5 points for this. Big week for Scotland. For LA, 26 weeks in a row atop the countdown. Ryan Cullen moves back into the most all-time, ranked battles. Ryan Nesson makes his case for the All-Star game. A lot to talk about in this one. And in addition to all of those like little subplots, it's just one hell of a battle. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it. One of my favorites of the season, Ryan Nesson, Ryan Cullen, 2 of the best in the world. Here it is.
All right, guys, let's keep it going for Gollum Farrell. Ryan looks like he can unlock his phone's facial recognition with a dick pic. Ryan told me he's almost died 9 times. That's got to be bullshit, right? Look at him. He clearly did die. Yeah, you look like they buried Bill Burr in Pet Cemetery.
Ryan Nesson is so Jewish that when he picks up his sister from camp, he brings a dustpan. That's the one. Yeah. Ryan was arrested for a DUI, which is funnily also what he calls Palestinian toddlers, dead under Israel. Yeah. Ryan. I fucking will. Yeah, no. Ryan's the type of guy that would immediately rush to the sound of a whistle, praying for sloppy seconds.
That was fun. You went pretty hard with the Jew stuff there, Leprechaun. Yeah. What's your lucky charms? A swastika? Oh, fuck, I don't know. Ryan is obviously Irish. Ryan's so Irish he thought a bang bus was a different type of car bomb. Either way, he's making a real mess in the back seat.
All right, I think, first of all, if you're going to start talking to me, you should take off the anonymous mask. Ryan looks like if all the impractical jokers mashed together to form a stronger, more greasier sex offender. It's like you hear Captain America go, molesters assemble. Yeah. Ryan's such a well-known sex pest in Hollywood that it inspired Miramax to cast Adrian Brody in Predators.
Guys, you may recognize Ryan from the guy on every men's restroom sign. He's just... Yeah, you look like a Make-A-Wish kid whose only wish was for more cancer. Speaking of, Ryan just got a tumor removed. Don't worry, he's fine. He's a devout Catholic, so he's used to a higher power shoving things in his throat. He did have to get an inhaler, though, which is what the priest used to call him.
speaking of, they say that the best way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And clearly advice taken from the cancer that ate out his father. Rest in peace to that stupid old cunt. Yeah, fuck me. That wasn't jelly in his belly. Those were tumors. I'm glad to find out that, I'm not the only one that you make sick to the stomach. Ryan's actually father used to own an optical shop, but just to be clear, there is definitely no glasses strong enough to be able to look upon you these days from, way down there.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you.
Ryan actually has a dad bod. My dad, who died 18 years ago. Oh, fuck. When Ryan's best friend came out as trans, he got her flowers. So we never forget where he buried her.
All right, Ezra Miller Light. Ryan Nesson is what you get if the only flashing Ezra Miller did was two schoolboys. Ryan's so stupid and sexist, then when I asked him was he ever abroad, he was like, oh, God, no, I hate trannies. Yeah. Ryan's so stupid that he only joined Krav Maga because he thought it was a Hebrew way of saying make America great again.
That's funny. Yeah. That's good. Ryan looks like he got bit by a vampire that only passed on recessive genes. Yeah, let's keep it going for gross Veratu. Ryan hosts a movie review podcast, and he said his favorite comedy film of all time is Waiting to Exhale, which is a crazy thing to call the George Floyd body cam footage. Yeah. He was like, I laughed so hard, I can't breathe.
Yeah. Ryan has been on antidepressants for 15 years.
End it there.
And struggles to come because his wife's a pig. Yeah. Yeah, Ryan's happily married. Like every morning, he sets an alarm on his wife's phone just so he remembers to make her take her pills, puberty blockers. Yeah, Ryan, antidepressants for 15 years just makes me think that you really aren't a real Jew, because then you'd be like the cheapest thing to do would be just kill yourself. Thank you very much.
So the number one battle of the week, we were there in the room, obviously. I thought this had a shot at being the first consensus number one across every ballot. It was not. It was not. There were, I think, 4 ballots out of 13 that had something else number one. And I kind of get it. I think it was a strong week overall. One person said it in a way that we put a lot of hype behind this battle. And this was their first time seeing it. I guess they didn't watch the official YouTube release. And they said, yeah, based on the hype, there were more misses than I expected. And when you watch back, you're like, yeah, there were more. There were so many hits, though. To me, it was still number one pretty clearly because of how many big hits there were. But I do think that you could make a case for, Manchester or New York maybe connecting on like a higher percentage of punches. But to me, clearly the number one battle of the week between two of the best. What did you think?
You're watching two of the best. Any committee member who was saying this, I mean, no disrespect. Obviously, you're a gladiator in the sport. But when you watch that, even watching that back, watching in the room was crazy. And to hear a guy who's done it on television multiple times, and Tony Hinchcliffe, Pat Barker, the Sklar brothers, everybody just in the room kind of said, we've been seeing this for about 11 years at most, 12 years, in my case. And we've never seen anything like that. That's 12 years of all those jokes you haven't heard before verbatim. You've seen maybe something like them, but not like that. Like that was a PhD, a masterclass in how you do this. Those guys went again. Ryan Cullen is the king of the dark joke. Those swings, sure they missed, but when you look at those on paper, that's crazy. And to try to get those off with his cadence and doing it here in America in our cadence, not, just like doing the 9-joke thing, was enunciating the whole time, was slowed down the whole time. You knew exactly. The reason he missed is because there's a language barrier, and there's also there is a factor that it was kind of late in the room, and those jokes, I mean, man, I even listening to those back, those are hard. Those are misses, but holy shit, you called that man's wife a pig, and you said the cheapest thing for you to do would, if you're a real Jew, would be to kill yourself. I mean, opening with, you went to pick your sister up at sleepaway camp with a dustpan. I mean, you guys, what are you talking about? That was crazy. And then for Nesson to bring back, we said this a week or two ago, that's Ryan Nesson we know. He was preparing for this, and you could see it. He took every punch. He took every straight to the face, every cross to the face, every uppercut that Cullen brought, every big swing. He took it right on the chin, rebutted with it, and then had a banger right after that. I mean, that's Battle of the Year. What the fuck are we talking about?
Okay. I mean, I love the endorsement, and it was number one on my list, and I completely understand, I'll say this. Sometimes you watch them and you're in a different headspace, and you watch 14 of these things back to back, and it depends on what order you watch them in and everything like that. And, these are all caveats, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe you're in a mood where 5 minutes of Andrew Manning and Sarah Barnett, nice and tight, they're having fun, everything like that hits you in a different way than 10 minutes of the hardest jokes, imaginable. To me, this was, yes, the battle of the week by a pretty wide margin. I think it's right up there with a Joda and Wicks and the Jeopardy battle, which I still don't think you've seen out of Chicago. Those to me are the top 3 in the league this season. But I mean, my God, just these guys came into the season ranked 3 and 4 all-time battlers. That's the reason why, because they connect way more than they miss. For Ryan Cullen to come over here and do all those jokes, have them completely memorized. He wasn't reading off his phone at all, which is a acceptable practice over in Scotland. Here, he's oh yeah, I'll come over, no problem, I'll memorize. They both wanted this battle, and it shows why. I mean, Cullen just even beyond the dark shit, you look like somebody mashed together all the impractical jokers to form a greasier, more dangerous, sex predator or whatever.
Oh, yeah. When you scream Avengers Assemble, Molesters Assemble, I mean...
Run to the sound of a whistle looking for sloppy seconds.
Yeah. God, you've never heard that before. What are you talking about,
He had so many great ones, and so did Nesson. And by the way, I want to address something I saw in the comments on the main video. Every time Ryan Nesson wins anything, the conspiracy theorists come out, and I think it's because of his religious affiliation. I know it's because of that, because they'll come out in the comments and be like, "This is a Jewish conspiracy." To it, guys. Okay, either they control the weather and the banks and all the important shit, or the roast battle championship. It can't be both.
It can be all. I mean, that's what they're saying. They're like, "Oh, now it's infiltrated the roast battle."
I saw another comment that was what does Ryan Nesson have on Pat Barker where Pat has to vote for him every time? Let me be very clear here. There's nothing I love more than voting against Ryan Nesson. He's one of the worst losers in the entire league. He every single time he loses, it's either the crowd's fault or the judge's fault or something like that. I got to listen to it. I think it's hilarious. I love watching him lose. To the point where he was on here a couple weeks ago against Audrey Hebert. I voted for Audrey, and then I watched it back. I'm like, damn, Ryan probably would have won. You know why I voted for Audrey? Subconsciously, probably. It's because I like seeing Ryan lose. It's so fun. I love voting against the guy, but he's really fucking good. And I think he won that battle. He connected with, more... But you could go either way, but to act like it is this, egregious thing where I am there's a secret cabal of people... designed to elevate Ryan Nesson to the number 1 spot in the roast battle league. Guys, get a grip. Go outside. Turn the computer off. Spend some time outside. Touch grass. I promise you there is not some secret conspiracy to put Ryan Nesson at the top of the league. He's really good, and I wish he wasn't, because I like watching him lose more than I like watching him win. This is a bummer for me, but he's killing it right now. All right, so that was the episode for this week. Number one battle, Ryan Nesson, Ryan Cullen. Big week for LA, big week for Scotland. Let's take a look at the standings real quick before we get out of here. LA opening up their lead over the Bay Area. They are now up 14 and a half points, and they are the number one overall seed in the entire league. Once again, 58 points through 12 weeks.
Come and get it.
New York, 5 up on Chicago in the East. And when we look at that wild card, Chicago, 2.5 up on the Bay Area. That's going to become a really interesting race to watch. Austin about to make a run too. I think there's only 3 spots for 5 cities, and I'm excited to see who gets it. Internationally, Barcelona still up 15 on Scotland, but a big week for Scotland. Barcelona fails to make the countdown. And then Manchester now way up on Tokyo, 21 points up on Tokyo, and also only 3 behind Barcelona for the overall lead internationally. And that's extra important this year because if you are the number 1 seed, you do not have to participate in the wild card game. Ooh. If you're number 2, you got to fight through the wild card to make the championship. Internationally, the wild card, now Scotland firmly in control over Tokyo in that race. And we end with the race to avoid relegation, the race to avoid being demoted to the RBL. Toronto, 12 weeks in, 1 point.
I'm going to miss you, Toronto. I love you, Dinesh. I love what you guys do out there, but yeah, it's going to be crazy when Berlin takes your spot, or Hartford. Yeah. Do something. You got Sarah Ashby out there. I think you got my boy Will Christensen. I mean, what are you guys doing? You
Sean Aurora, Freddie Jan, they got some talent.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Manic Custodio.
You got Bashmaster out there, you know?
Yeah.
Do something, you guys. You got some all-stars out there, at least one. Whatever.
Get it together. Long season.
Barcelona, though. That's my new name for them.
Ooh, I like that.
Barcelona. That's
like
you
that.
guys. I've complete 180. I'm sorry about everything I said.
You don't have to, they didn't make the countdown this week. You don't have to do this
You're
on
the most diverse country I've ever been inside of. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Barcelona. I'm sorry about everything I said. You guys are the best.
He thinks you're a country. It's hilarious. All right. Great episode this week. We'll be back next week with more RBL. In the meantime, Mothership, 2 shows, June 15th, 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock. The All-Star Game, July 13th at the Comedy Cellar, June 27th, 28th in Lafayette. All of that information can be found where?
RoastBattleLeague.com.